It's a tight end centric Super Bowl, huh? I mean, both guys, it's crucial here. What do the Eagles do? Let's break it down X's and O's here. What do they do with Ertz that could create the problems for the Patriots on Sunday, do you think?
I think anytime you're a good running team, anytime you can get into that RPO stuff, you hear so many of the broadcasts and everybody talk about that, that the Eagles do as well as anybody. The tight end, just from his alignment perspective and just basic formations, he's kind of the guy, right? You're reading inside linebackers. Those are the guys. If they come up on the run fake, you pull it and you throw it if he stays back. So a lot of the times, the first option in those RPOs is the tight end, is that slot receiver. So from that standpoint, schematically, they do a great job. But then athletically, he can split the formation. He can be the single side X and run individual routes. He can be to a 3-man side, a 2-man side in the backfield. You know, his athleticism, his size, what he can do movement-wise, tracking the ball. You know, when you have a guy like that, you know, you see him. You mentioned Kelsey's coming on the show. Guys like that, when you want to move around and find ways to get them involved. And I think Doug Peterson does a great job with them.
And then there's Gronk, obviously.
Yep.
Is just his size the difference maker? I mean, you're a pretty big dude yourself.
Yeah, his size, you know, his style of play, he likes contact. He wants that contact. He uses it to his advantage. And then from what they do, so much of the empty stuff, you know, you never know on any given formation where he's going to be. They do as good a job as anybody in the league as far as getting matchups. They put Brady back there, 5 wide. 2 of them could be backs, could be 4 receivers in Gronk. You know, they do it at so many different personnel groupings. And then he just looks across the board and figures out which matchup you want. And a lot of times Gronkowski's matchup against anybody is a good one, and Brady starts with him.
Well, Gronk got knocked out of the AFC Championship game. Kelsey got knocked out of his game against the Titans. Do you think those hits are dirty, Craig?
Yeah, I think the letter of the law says that you can't hit guys in the head, and I know, you know, traditionalists and people say you're changing the game, but what's the alternative? Do we want to see stars of our game get knocked out? You know, just you can knock a guy out, break his ribs, right? Go hit him in the chest. I mean, you're still, but at the end of the day, do we want to see Rob Gronkowski out possibly of the Super Bowl, possibly in and out of the concussion protocol leading up to the biggest game? Travis Kelce having to leave a playoff game that they end up losing. You know, those guys are huge parts of this league, huge parts of their team, and to a degree, those hits, I think, are avoidable. Some of the hits to the head when a guy's going to the ground and you're in a bad position, sometimes things happen. But I think trying to take that out of the game is good for everybody.
Well, Richard Sherman tweeted out after Gronk got hit that the alternative to the hit, was it Church who hit him?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
That the alternative to the Church hit where he hit him was to go in the knees.
Which we saw against, I think it was against Seattle a couple years ago when Gronk tore his knee up.
And he's like, what would you rather us do? Like, I mean.
I think on paper, and again, I think what those defensive guys have to do playing at that speed, and the target is always moving. You know, he could have caught that ball and lowered, and now all of a sudden a hit to the chest becomes a hit to the face. I get all that. I think the letter of the law, I think on paper, what they want to see you do is take your shoulder, your forearm, whatever, and put it square into his chest, his back, his side, his ribs, his hip. I think that's the answer. And again, sometimes that's easier said than done.
The Rich Eisen Show, weekdays at noon Eastern on Audience.